So Bruce Lehrmann's life is ruined and reputation destroyed on the back of unproven allegations, even though he's never been found guilty of the crime of rape or had a fair trial. But who cares, right? He's just a Liberal Party guy, a bit nerdy, looks a bit sleazy, probably did it, you know. At least that's what the civil defamation hearing found. He probably did it on the balance of probabilities. So if he's innocent, then, you know, too bad. I mean, you know, who cares? You got to love the Australian justice system sometimes, haven't you? It's the vibe of the thing. Anyway, a huge and delightful win for Bruce this week. The courts have ruled that instead of having to pay $200,000 in security to Channel 10 while he pushes forward with his appeal against the defamation case ruling against him, he can now go ahead and appeal without having to get himself into crippling debt in an attempt to clear his name. Lucky Bruce! Just to explain this a bit better, Bruce wants to appeal. Obviously, Channel 10 and Lisa Wilkinson don't want him to, so they wanted $200,000 as a security payment. But Federal Court Justice Wendy Abraham has this week dismissed that application by Network 10, so Bruce can now move forward with the appeal. He doesn't have to fork out $200K, and the judge has accepted his application not to have to pay the $2 million in legal costs that he's got to pay to the network and Wilkinson until after the appeal. Isn't that great? I mean, shouldn't that kind of thing go without saying? I mean, shouldn't you be able to appeal and then everything gets put on hold until the appeal is done? Wouldn't that be, justice? Anyway, in court last week, Lehrmann's lawyer said that Network 10 pursuing the security payment from Lehrmann was a bullying tactic to shut down the appeal. Anyway, now Justice Abraham has also ordered the network to pay the legal fees that Lehrmann has just incurred in this latest little technical hearing about that security payment, which kind of proves the old adage about going to court. You might win, you might lose, but the lawyers always win. Meanwhile, in real, actual crime news, a balaclava-clad man fired around 10 shots into a home and a car on Chisholm Road in Auburn in Sydney's West this week. There was a guy inside the car. He was backing out of the driveway when he was shot at. Then just 10 minutes later, the police had to rush to another location nearby after reports that the car was on fire. And then another location where another car was on fire. And this is all understood to be gangland-related violence. So things are just going great under our left-wing criminal justice system that's driven by an ideology that worries more about violent criminals' well-being than that of victims. Unless, of course, the alleged criminal is a man and the matter involves some kind of alleged sexual misbehaviour, then you're guilty until proven innocent. The Daily Telegraph newspaper has reported that a 19-year-old underworld figure was warned by police to leave Sydney because of a bounty on his head. Warned by police. That's how it works now, apparently. Can someone tell me when my country became an episode of Breaking Bad? I mean, the exploding cars fun was apparently the third attempt on this kid's life in 18 months. One guy who is not prepared to accept that Underbelly should be a documentary about modern Australian life is the man tipped to become Premier of Queensland this week, David Crisafulli. He met with victims of crime, people who had lost loved ones in awful random incidents, and he held a pre-election news conference to underscore his tough-on-crime approach and the absolute failure of Labor's approach to law and order. During that news conference, he got a little choked up. It looked genuine to me. It didn't look like he was bunging it on at all, and I mean that sincerely. I think he was a bit choked up after meeting those people. And here's how Sky News Australia reported it.
Parents who have had to comfort kids after their safe space has been violated, to try and tell their children that things will be all right, even though deep down they don't know if it really is. But that's the trauma that they have had to go through and their families have had to go through. And behind me is a father who's putting his hand up to serve. My commitment to all of these Queenslanders, and indeed every single Queenslander, is by the end of the year, the Making Queensland Safer laws will be laws in this state. Adult crime, adult time will be in legislation. It's a commitment I made him, and I'm making it to Queenslanders. And I've got the team to deliver it. because for 4 years we have been listening when the government tried to say there wasn't an issue. I've got a lawyer, a prosecutor, a detective of police, and they are ready to implement the changes that this state needs.
David Crisafulli, the man who might become the first Liberal MP or LNP Premier of an Australian mainland state since New South Wales was lost to Labor in early 2023. Here at The Other Side, we do not get more than $1 billion of taxpayer money like the ABC does to waste on fun stuff that we and our friends like while ignoring the public that we're supposed to serve. We have to rely on your support of this show. But I also hate asking for charity. So we've done a deal with what I think is the best VPN service in the world so that you can support this show and get excellent value for yourself in return. Private Internet Access VPN is a virtual private network. You download their app onto your phone, your TV, your computer, whatever you use, and it'll route all your data through a different server location so that you can't be tracked by the prying eyes of big government and big corporations. It keeps you and your family truly safe, and it will not massively slow down your internet speeds or make it harder to use your devices like some VPNs do. Private Internet Access, PIA VPN, is quick and easy to install, and once you've downloaded it, that's pretty much it. You can sign up using our special Other Side code for less than $3 a month. Unbelievable. That is a whopping 83% off the normal price. And you'll get the first 4 months free, and you will be helping our show a lot. So get onto it. piavpn.com/otherside to get the special deal. And get this, if you've got a Netflix account, by signing on through a server in another country to Netflix, like the US, for example, you'll get access to that country's library of Netflix shows on your account as if you were in that country, which is also great if you want Netflix in a different language or something. piavpn.com/otherside. If you like that clip, there's more where that came from in our full show, The Other Side. You can watch it right here, the latest episode. And please subscribe to our channel by pressing the subscribe button right here or down here. And remember to click that notification bell too. It all helps. Join us and become part of The Other Side.